Hello Year 10 students and parents. Usually at this time of year I would be inviting all of the parents and students to come into the assembly hall for a meeting about the final choice of options, but we can't do that this year. So what I want to do is I want to use this little video to try and give you a little bit more information about how we've actually got to this point, but I also want to try and explain a little bit more about the decision-making process that has been going on behind the scenes through January and February. And then I want to talk a little bit more about what's going to be happening later this week as you make your final choices for GCSE study. You should have received a letter from me in the post with details of the final option groups, but don't worry if you didn't. There are online versions available, but if you do want a paper copy, please do contact us at the college. So let me try and explain a little bit more about the features of the options for Year 11 next year. The first thing that I want us to think about is, if you're a student, are you ready for next year? Moving into Year 11 and starting your GCSEs and the equivalent courses is a big step. And it's really important that you are ready to work from the 1st of September. We know that there's been a fair bit of disruption over the last 2 years, so it's going to be really important that you work as hard as you possibly can. You will have proper GCSE exams during Year 11 and some at the end of Year 11. And in fact, depending on what subjects that you do, you might have a significant number of exams to do. And each student needs to be aiming for a minimum of 5 GCSE passes to keep all the doors open to you for whether you want to come back to school, whether you want to go to NRC, whether you want an apprenticeship, or whether you want to go to another school as well. At the start of this year, I did speak to each of the Year 10 classes, and before the Christmas exams as well, I did remind pupils that their results in the exams would help shape the choices for next year. And it's really important to realise that your results in your different subjects do give us an indication of what you should and what you should not be doing in your choices next year. It is time now to start thinking about those final choices. And each year we do try to aim to offer as many different courses as we possibly can to our students within the constraints of the teaching timetable. This year at Cullybackey College, we are offering our Year 11 students a total of over 32 different courses, of which 15 are classed as general or academic and 17 are classed as either practical or vocational. To be honest, the badging of these doesn't matter, but there is a wide range of courses available to our students. And our options are structured in such a way so that we can try to support students as much as possible to make the right choices, so that if you're aiming for a particular career, you can achieve maximum success. Now, many of our students don't actually have a career in mind at this particular point in time, and that's okay. The key is twofold. Number one, make sure that you're not closing any doors on yourself for your future ideas. And secondly, if you don't know what you're going to do, keep on the subjects that you enjoy or the subjects that you're good at and that you're getting good marks and good results in. Cullybackey College is all about creating opportunities for success, for your success. We want to give you the best choice, the best opportunities, and the best advice. We think it's really important to try and match your child with the right level of course, so that the courses chosen will suit their needs. which means that if your child isn't very good at exams and struggles with things like learning and memory for exams, then maybe doing subjects where there's a significant number of exams is not a good idea. And they should be choosing subjects where there is more coursework so that their problems or challenges with exams actually will be weighed out. You have to remember that we have a very wide ability range within our school, and we are trying to meet your individual needs as much as we can with the resources available to us. This year, we have already sent home one report at Christmas time that hopefully helps to show you how your child has been doing in Year 10 across all the different subjects. This helps us to guide our students in the right direction. And this year, I've also been looking back at reports from Year 9 as well to get a picture of each of our individual students. And this is a slide which I think is really important for parents. Maybe you have done GCSEs, or maybe you've had older children who have gone on and done GCSEs in the past. And I just want to remind parents in particular that from September 2017, GCSEs changed quite a lot. It became a lot more difficult for students to get grade C or above in GCSEs from that time. There is less coursework, less controlled assessment, and the foundation tier was removed from quite a lot of exams, with maybe the exception of languages, maths and science. And that means that we've had to think really carefully about the subjects that we put on offer to our students. There's a broader range of courses, and you will hear and see these course titles, and I call them GCSE equivalents because each of them is equivalent to a GCSE. Things like Cambridge Technicals, OCN, Level 2 courses, Occupational Studies, Prince's Trust, BTEC courses. A lot of these will have a higher emphasis on coursework than exams, which means that they are suited to some of our students. But it is worth reminding that they're still worth the same as a traditional GCSE. So if you do well in them and you work well in them, you still get the award and the accreditation for that. As I've already said briefly, the impact of COVID has been widespread through your child's education in Year 9 and in Year 10. We have tried to reduce the impact of COVID on our options process as much as possible. And obviously, it would have been an awful lot better for everybody to be in school and for us to be able to have the usual meetings that we have. However, we have used the same process to try and identify different subjects like what we usually do. However, we are not in the position where we can offer an opportunity for you to meet with a parent-teacher consultation meeting. However, to try and sort of belay the impact of that, we are offering an opportunity to meet with a careers teacher on Friday the 12th of March for a short chat, and more details on that a little bit later on. So, what have we done so far to think about the Year 11 options? Well, way back in January 2021, pupils took a first survey so that we could see if we were offering any subjects that pupils might want, and to see if there was any subjects that we were not currently offering that people would want. In early January, I sent home a link to a YouTube video where heads of department were able to introduce their subjects to the pupils. And I also made available an information booklet which was made available online through the school website as well. We then carried out a second survey to see what subjects the pupils were interested in then. We wanted to encourage our pupils to speak to their parents about these decisions, and this then allowed me to see what subjects people were interested in. And then we were able to start to put together our option groups to fit the vast majority of pupils. Every year, parents and pupils ask me about why we have to have option groups. And the reality is that we need to be able to put a timetable together. And for effective timetabling purposes, we have to run the different option classes at the same time. So we will have 6 or 7 classes going at any one time within our timetable, which gives our students the maximum choice. However, sometimes that does mean that maybe 2 of the subjects that you're interested in might appear in the same group. And unfortunately, there's very little more that I can do about that. The subjects have been placed based on trying to make sure that we maximise the choice and the spread of subjects across all of our students. So what happens next? Well, we're getting close now to the final choice of subjects. Today, I am announcing the final options and will give you an options sheet to take with you. Once the final choices have been made, I will send you a letter to let you know about what your child's final subjects actually are, and that will be late in June. Finally, pupils will have a bit of time to try out these subjects in the first 2 years of Year 11. If there is space for movement within the subjects, I will try to facilitate that. Sometimes students come to me and say, Mr. Manson, can I get into the history class? But I don't have any other space available. So please be mindful that there are restraints on class size across many of our subjects. So that's the next bit. So what are the different routes available to our students? All of our students going into Year 11 will take one course in English, Maths, Science and RE. And your placement within these different classes will be based on past performance in these subjects. So if you want to do double award science, the science department will look at your results and will potentially offer you an opportunity in that. For our academic route, we are estimating that around about 115 of our pupils will go down this particular route. So you will take English, Maths, Science and RE, and you will also then be able to choose 3 subject choices across the 3 option blocks. So your academic route will look like this. You will either do GCSE English or the Essential Skills in Communication, and then you'll do GCSE Maths or the Essential Skills in Application of Number, GCSE Double Award Science, which is equivalent to 2 GCSEs, or GCSE Single Award Science, or the OCN Level 2 in Applied Science, and those are both equivalent to 1 GCSE. And it's also worth saying that any student who's doing Single Award Science will also take a course which is called the Prince's Trust Award in Leadership. There are no exams in this, and it's worth 2 GCSEs. You'll also do either GCSE RE or the OCN Level 2 RE, which is worth 1 GCSE. You'll have some careers and games time, which are all non-exam. And then you'll have your 3 option subjects. The second route we call the vocational route. And this will be up to 20 pupils. And this is offered to students who maybe are more likely to follow a more practical route, who might be thinking of employment or apprenticeship opportunities after Year 12. The main focus is on our link with the NRC, but you'll also get the opportunity to choose some of the subjects from 2 of the option groups. It is worth reminding you that GCSEs have got more difficult in recent years, which means that grades have fallen, and because we want to make sure that our students leave with the best possible examination results, we want these pupils to focus on vocational or hands-on qualifications. So if you're going down this route, we strongly advise that you take mostly vocational courses, and I'll suggest what those different courses actually are. The vocational route looks like this. You'll be doing essential skills, communication, essential skills, application of number, OCN Level 2 Applied Science, Prince's Trust Leadership Award, the OCN Level 2 in RE, Careers and Games. You'll choose 2 different subjects from NRC. One you will do in Year 11 and one you will do in Year 12. So you actually get 2 GCSEs from the NRC, and then you will get the opportunity to choose from 2 options within the option groups. It's also worth bearing in mind as well that in our class structure, it goes 11A1, 11A2, 11A3, 11A4, and then 11A5. This class will be badged as 11A5, but many of the core subjects will be very similar to those that are in 11A4. The only difference being that you're going to the NRC because you want to take either hair, beauty, the plumbing, or the motor vehicle options available there. It's worth saying that any student who wants to go to NRC is going to have to take the vocational route. We timetable this in a totally different way because the pupils are timetabled to go to the NRC every Friday over the 2 years. And the only way we can get that fit is to run a separate timetable for this class. They still will experience a range of different opportunities, and they also will get their 2 GCSE equivalent passes in these courses called Occupational Studies through their study there. Some of the main areas of focus are things like motor mechanicking, fast fit, car valeting, hair and beauty, catering, patisserie, sheet metal and manufacturing. Usually we like to take our students up to the open day to see around the campuses, but it doesn't look it's likely that that's going to take place this year. So these are the option blocks for 2021. In block 1, students can choose from child development, music, geography, ICT, business or carpentry. In block 2, students can choose from art, geography, carpentry, history, hospitality, technology or agriculture. In block 3, students can choose from sports studies, construction, history, ICT, motor vehicle studies, drama or hospitality. Students must choose one subject from each block. And what I would prefer is whenever you're choosing your subjects, if you can please indicate for me what is your first choice subject in that block and what is your second choice subject in that block. In most cases, I will be able to facilitate the first choice, but it's always handy to know what your second choice is in case I cannot facilitate your first choice. For those of you who are wanting to go to the NRC, the vocational subject choice, that will take away your choice from block number 1. However, you also can choose from block 2 and block 3. And our advice is that you please try and stick to these subjects. So in Block 2, art or hospitality or carpentry or agriculture. For Block 3, sport studies, ICT, motor vehicle, hospitality or drama. So what happens next? You should have received the final choices sheet by post this week. Then it's over to you to make your choice. And then you've got to let me know using that blue response sheet. You also can access a version of this form online. But please only respond once. You do not need to send the hard copy back to school and complete the form online. You only need to respond once. As I've already said, final confirmation of your child's choices will come in late June. Just a little reminder as well, at the end of Year 10 pupils will be taking the YELLIS test, and this gives us some very valuable information about the grades that your child could get through their 2 years of GCSE studies and helps us with their target grade. If your child is thinking about choosing a course at the NRC, please plan to attend a little online meeting with me tomorrow at 2 p.m, where I'm going to outline a little bit more about the NRC programme, explain the different options and talk about what you actually do. If you haven't already signed up for this meeting, please contact me for the Zoom login details. You should have my email address on the letter that I sent you out. If you would like the opportunity of a short parent-pupil consultation with a careers teacher on Friday the 12th of March, please follow the booking instructions in the letter that I sent home. This also contains details about how to sign in for the video call on Friday. And if I could ask that everybody returns the form or completed the online survey by Friday the 19th of March 2021. It has been a challenging year, but we do believe that students can bounce back quickly and that they still can continue to do well. And we do look forward to welcoming them back into school as soon as possible. I do hope that you can take the opportunity to meet with a teacher on Friday. This will be a short 5-minute chat about the options from a careers point of view. Please only book with one teacher. However, if you do require further advice, please feel free to book a chat with me as well on Friday. If you're currently in 10A1, you should book your chat with Mrs. Wilkinson. If you're in 10A2, please book with Mrs. Cummings. If you're in 10A3, you can either book with Miss Barr or with myself. If you're in 10A4, you can book with Mrs. Parker. And if you're in 10A5, you can book with me. Thanks so much for staying to the end of this video. I really hope that it helped you understand what we're trying to do this year. If you do have any questions, do please get in contact with me at the college. Thanks very much.